RTE Television. John.
Filippo, how are you doing? Happy New Year to you, and it's good to see you again. The fixtures have been announced. Looks like we're going to have a full season rather than the shortened season we had last year. How's your squad gearing up?
We are working to complete the squad. We just started the pre-season on Monday, February 1st. The players were already working individually in a small group, but from Monday we start together. We have, couple or 2-3 players to sign in some position, but we are working to do it, and we're going to have some news soon.
You have brought in a few players. The Latvian Jurviskis is one, but there's been some changes in the club. Martin Connolly has gone. Is there more structural changes going on in Dundalk at the moment?
The club is restructuring. Let's say that we have a new director that is, as you know, Jim Mcgilton, and is providing a new structure, and this is what is in place now, and the club has a vision to become a little bit more an international club. They ask us to look in our recruiting even outside Ireland, and we start to do that. We follow the direction of the club. They have a vision to open a little bit the League of Ireland to more open idea of football, and we try to respect the vision of the owners.
And how is your relationship with Jim Mcgilton then? Is he, I suppose for want of a better phrase, is he taking over your role and you would just manage the squad, or is he direct hands-on bringing in the players which you would then have to work with?
No, we are working together. Jim is the director of the club, is the sporting director. So we are working together on recruiting players. I do a lot of scouting, and then with my staff, and then of course we go through the classic hierarchy in the club. We present the players to the sporting director, that is Jim, and then the Jim present eventually the deal to the board to be approved, and we go from there. It's really simple structure.
Final question for me then. You've lost a few players, obviously. Kolovic is gone, Dane Massey's gone, Gannon's gone. So obviously bringing the new players in, you're going to have to blend them into the existing squad. How do you think that will go?
I think having a full pre-season available, I think it will go well. The players that they left, for the majority, was their decision to leave the club. So nothing that we can do about it. And but we are replacing quality with quality, because the players that they came in are really important quality, players with international experience, but still young profile. I call them mature young players, if you want to say that.
Do you think you can challenge Shamrock Rovers this year?
We have to. Is what we will need to do. We're going to go to play to win games and to try to battle to win the league, for sure.
Okay, thanks, Filippo.
No problem. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. So Conor Hosford is next, please.
Hey, Filippo. So you came into the league last season it was a very different League of Ireland season. You came in late into a very different League of Ireland season. How have you found it so far?
Well, the league didn't start yet.
Last season you came in late last season, halfway through the season. It was a very different league season last year. So how did you find coming into the new league?
last season was we had a different approach in the league, because when we came in, the only objective was qualifying Europe, and we make all the decision to do that, and we were doing massive turnover to save players to play in Europe, and this, was a big effect in the first part when we arrived, and then of course later on it was the reverse of the medal, because we had to pay attention on the league while we were playing super important games in Europe. So it was difficult, but this year is going to be different, because our focus is going to be massively on the league.
So now going into that full fixture list, brand new season, still COVID is still prevalent in the season. Do you know what to expect going into the new season with the challenges of Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians, and a couple of other sides as well?
Of course, the challenge is going to be, I completely understand what is this league. It's a league really, really complicated. It's like to play a derby every weekend. So it's going to be really, really strong league, really complicated to play. But we're going to prepare for the high challenge that we have in front. And we're going to be ready for March 20 for the first game, for sure, because we have time to prepare.
And then from your previous experiences, obviously you won your first major trophy with Dundalk with the FAI Cup, and then you were in the Europa League in the Europa League group stage as well. From your experience previous to coming into Dundalk, has this kind of really pushed you forward personally as a coach?
Oh, I learned so much, and I had to do it fast, because I jumped in this situation from nothing, and I had to learn, I had to adapt, and but I brought my knowledge, my idea of football. The club was happy with the idea, with the style of play that we were going to bring, and we can consolidate now this idea during the pre-season, because we have time to do it.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Filippo.
Thank you, Connor.
Thanks very much, Connor. And we're going to go now to Declan Hughes, and then Enda will be after Declan. Declan.
Felipe, thanks for making yourself available. My question basically is, you have a massive task on your hands with regards to trying to win the league this season, because you're bringing a lot of new players in, players that are not only new to the football in this country, but are new to each other as well as your core group from before. So that's going to be your first difficulty, blending in. Having said that, you have 36 games to do it in.
Yeah, I mean, I think when every year starts, there are challenge to go against, and this is let's be honest, this is a new start for Dundalk. It's a new vision, and but we are not afraid to take this challenge at all. The profile of players that we were looking are completely into what we were looking for, and we are bringing profile that they can adapt to the league for our understanding. People that players that they want to do well, they want to progress, and they like to be here, and they were interested to come here, and this is what we were looking for. People really motivated to come and work hard and play. So it's a challenge that we take. It's a vision of the club that we married, and we're gonna fight for that.
The new owners haven't been afraid to look far and wide for players, and indeed, there was a few players came in from the United States, and one or two of them didn't make a breakthrough, and there's other players have come in from continental Europe. Have you, for example, any ideas about maybe going back to Italy to maybe bring one or two guys in?
No, we looked even in the Italy market, but nothing was available so far for what we were looking for. So we looked to other kind of markets in Europe, is really good market, North Europe and East Europe, in my opinion. Players that they are strong, young, that they have already international experience. They play with their national team. There are many profiles like that, and they look to the League of Ireland like an opportunity to come and progress and maybe go then to the next level. So this is their vision. This is our vision. Recruit player that they want to be better, that they want to develop, they want to go to the next level, but at the same time, they are here to win trophy, to be competitive, and to participate to a strong league.
Is there a scope for Dundalk, say, to, for example, on the subject of Eastern European clubs, maybe to link up with one of the big Eastern European clubs and maybe bring in some of their younger players and give them a chance to show what they can do at a difficult level and a physically challenging level, and maybe even help prepare them for their future careers either in their own country or elsewhere?
Yeah, no.
Last one, please, Declan. We'll move on.
It is, yeah.
Sorry, Filippo. Sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is for sure one of the objectives of the club, make relationship not only with club of East Europe, but from all over the world, from England, from Italy, from Germany, from all over the world, to give this opportunity to young players to challenge themselves in a strong league like Ireland and develop. Yeah, this is really an objective of our club, and I think Jim, our director, is working to create this kind of relationship with many professional clubs.
Grazie mille.
Prego. Thank you, Declan.
Thank you, Declan. Now, Enda.
Hi, Filippo.
Yes.
So last year, Filippo, again, you came in later on the season, but it seemed like the club were very much focused on European success and European form, and probably sacrificed the league form as a result. What's the focus this year? Is it very much on the league?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's on the league. We want to do well in the league. We want to compete to win. We're not going to hide. And yes, the objective change, and we have to follow what the club is asking, because of course, if you win the league, then you have access to the Champions League the year after. So everything is always related to Europe, right? Because to have exposure in Europe is a massive objective for the club in terms of business, in terms of everything. To have exposure in Europe, I think, is important for the League of Ireland. So yeah, the objective is going to be the league.
Okay. And you've spoken a lot about the scouting and the players you brought in, still want to bring in a couple of more. There's obviously a lot of players leaving the club as well. This is your first year, full season in charge of Dundalk, your chance to put forward your plan and your game plan. What is that going to look like now that you have had a chance to build your own team?
How it's going to look like, we're going to see later. But of course, we have time. We have time to implement our style of play. We want to play an international kind of football. We want to try to dominate the game, to have the possession, to play a football that is complete, starting from the build-up, aggressive. This is the objective that the club is asking us, and I think this is also a style of play that help to develop players in total. We believe that the style is really is important tool to develop players. So we have this kind of objectives. We want to win, but we want to develop also players.
Okay. And Brian Gartland is a player that when you came in was sort of at the outskirts of the club, in and out of the team. You brought him back in, and he's got a new deal now. What has he done to impress you in order to get that new deal?
I don't remember a game that Brian didn't perform. He just did good on the pitch. He was always good during practice. When I arrived, I didn't know what was before. When I arrived, I didn't have a clue what was the situation with the players. They just put me in the pitch with the players, and they just say, "Okay, guys, so now who's gonna do better is gonna play during the weekend." And this is what they did. It was just a fresh air for everyone, and Brian did well. Brian did well and played the majority of the games. He performed, and now he's here again.
And just one more before I finish up. So there's a new FAI deal being put forward, and there's reports that there's some pushback from a couple of clubs. What's Dundalk's stance on that new deal?
I don't understand. I'm sorry, Anna. What's happening?
There is a new deal put forward by the FAI for a 3.6 million deal with the League of Ireland clubs, and it's been reported that some clubs are pushing back against that they don't agree with it. And I was just wondering if Dundalk have a stance on that, or if you know what
I think, I think, Andy, to be fair, you might ask Gavin McLaughlin that maybe on behalf of Dundalk. I don't think that's a fair question for Filippo, to be honest about it. So it's probably more for the club than Filippo.
Yeah, sorry, Adam. I don't know.
Thank you very much.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. So
no problem.
It's a question for our director or for the club.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Filippo.
No problem, man.
Thanks, Andy. And we're going to go now to Gavin Cooney. Gavin.
Hi, Filippo. You mentioned earlier on that you were looking at bringing in 2 or 3 players. Can you tell us who they are or anything about them?
No, I can't. But yeah, we are looking for to complete the squad. This is something that I can tell you, and we're gonna do it soon. Also, we have, to be honest, we start in a pre-season with few talented Irish players that they are in our academy, that they start to train with us, and I'm impressed about some of them, and they're gonna keep going to train with us. I'm really impressed with 2 or 3 young talent coming from our academy. This is gonna be a work really important for us.
What positions do you think you need to strengthen in?
We are looking for some attacking wide players, wingers, something like, if you can tell. But we are open to any opportunities eventually.
With Gary Rogers leaving, Dane Massey leaving, Sean Gannon leaving, do you worry about that loss of experience ahead of the season?
Yeah, of course, there were players with massive experience in this league, but this is football. Sometimes this is what happened at the end of the year, and we have to replace them with quality. Probably not with the same experience, but for sure with the same quality of them. And we're gonna develop the new players to become, if you want to say, legend in this league like them.
And then my last question, Filippo, is just about yourself. I know because you flew over mid-season last year, you went months without seeing your family. Have your family now moved over to Ireland? Have you and Giuseppe moved out of the B&B, or have you found somewhere more permanent in Dundalk?
No, yeah, we're gonna move in a house, of course. About my family now is in Italy, and they're gonna stay there. Eventually, we're gonna travel. They're gonna travel when it's possible, but that's not the moment to travel much. So,
thanks.
No problem. Thank you, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin. So the last question in the live section is going to go to Dave Donnelly, and then we're going to go to the embargo. So this is the last question before the live section. So Dave.
Hi, Filippo. Just a quick question for me in terms of the you mentioned there that there's a couple of young players from the academy that you've been impressed with. In Dundalk over the past 10 years or whatever, they haven't produced many players from the academy. Has the focus of the club changed in that regard? Is it very much about producing players now?
Absolutely, yes. Massive objective is on the academy. This is also my background. I'm coming from this kind of work on developing players. So for me, I'm delighted to do that, to help to do that, and I'm going to be really connected with our academy to do that. And we're going to invite consistently players to train with the first team, and even really young players. Today we had a player that was 2005, couple of 2003. So we are really focused on that, and we're going to keep going to do that.
And all of your signings so far this season have been from Europe. Have you had a look around the Irish market? Are you in the market for Irish players?
Of course we did, but we didn't find the deal with the players. And then for some position, to be honest, wasn't available the profile of player that we were looking for. So we had to go overseas. It's simple as that.
'Is there a bit more value in Europe maybe in terms of the wage demands?
Of course, Say it again.
Is there a bit more value from European players that they don't ask for so much money, or?
No, it depends. It depends. It's not about the wage. It's about the profile of the player. It's about their interest to come. Is about they're willing to improve and to come to a league like that. It's not about the wage that they are less expensive. It's not that. And this is not a problem. Wages is not a problem for the club in this moment. It's not this the problem. It's just to find the right profile.
Okay, and one final one from me, just in terms of last season when you were in the Europa League, it put a lot of pressure on your squad. You had to prioritize the Europa League. Have you learned that maybe you need a bigger squad this season?
A bigger squad than last season? No, last season we had a big squad. The problem was that at some point we start to play even every 3 days, and this was a little bit, a challenge. And we had a couple of injury important. Dan Massey was one that create us some issue. But yes, listen, the only good thing is that I hope that we're going to be in the same position of last year. Means that last year we complete all the game that was possible to play. This means that we were competitive until the end in all the competition. So I think we did something massive. Of course, we struggled on the league, but was almost a decision to do that. But this year is going to be a different approach. We're going to have time at the beginning to dedicate to the league. And then when July is coming and we're going to have multiple games, then we figure it out. We figured it out what to do.
Thanks, Filippo.
No problem. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. And that's the end of the live section. So from here on in, everything is embargoed until 11 o'clock tonight. We will, again, as I said, send out the audio and video to you, and imagery is available on Sportsfile. So to begin the embargoed section, Paul O'Hare, please.
Hi, Filippo. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Paul?
You good? Yeah. I was just, you said something there about the league being the priority this season, and I think you also said there a few minutes ago that you're not going to hide. The team won't hide in the title race this year. But with so many new players coming in together and so many players from outside the league, will the club have to be patient with you as well to give you time to make this work with so many new players who don't know the league?
Yeah, but I think the club is patient. Having me is already a big patient for the club, because with all the skepticism that I had around me, the club has to be, and the criticism to have me here, the club is really patient, and they trust me, they believe me. I am a hard worker, and I'm not gonna give up. So, and I know the game, so I can handle it. And the club believe in me, in our stuff, and yeah, and we're gonna work together. And like I said, we're not gonna hide. We wanna be there on the run to win the league for sure.
You spoke there about people being skeptical, when you came to the league first because they didn't know who you were. Did qualifying for the group stages, did winning the FAI Cup, has that silenced those people?
No, I don't think so. It will never end to me, but I accept this. It doesn't matter. And when I have more pressure, I perform better. So I hope they keep on going to say that, because they motivate me. And I'm not going to relax, and I'm going to perform, and I'm going to be vigilant. I'm going to be ready for the challenge.
Does it not reach a point though where, instead of motivating you, does it not reach a point where it annoys you, or? Not
really. No. If you do the job that I do, no, there is no way. But listen, it's not only me. Any coach in the world, any manager, you are the best until the next game. When you lose a game, you become stupid. So that's fine. It's our position. It's our life. We have to accept this, and we have not to go away from our focus and our objectives.
And just final one for me. I read an interview you did during the week, I think with James Rogers. There was mention of the South Korean winger Han, and there was maybe an issue over trying to get a work permit for him or anything like that. It's there any update on that, or?
No, I think the club is working on. Han is a super talented player. I think to have Han in this league will be just amazing, because it could be a star in the league, and this can make also the League of Ireland known even in Korea, in Asia. That would be amazing, I think, in my opinion. But let's see. I hope they can sort it out. They can sort it out because he's a top player.
Thanks, Filippo.
No problem.
Thank you, Paul. Our next question is from Owen Cowser, please.
Hey, Filippo. Just following on from what Paul was saying, and you're saying about the things that were said about you when you first came here. Like, did you read all that, or did it hurt you at the time?
About what? About
when you first came here and.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I had people that were telling me, friends, and then of course was a lot of yeah. I did because at the beginning you have to do it because it's gonna help to understand where you are, the environment, and yeah, it was I don't want to say this word, but it was pretty nasty, to be honest. It was sometimes even offensive personally, but it doesn't matter, to be honest. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I love what I do. I come here every day. I spend. I can even sleep here at the Oriel Park for how much I love my job, and there is nothing that can hurt me in this way. Nothing. Everything is helping me to perform better.
Yeah. And just also with your 5 signings so far, I noticed that 4 of them are over 6'2". Is that deliberate, or like, do you see there's something in the League of Ireland where a really tall team can have an impact?
Yeah, no, I was looking for those profile of players, with big size, but all of them they are skillful. They have really technical ability. So I believe that in the modern soccer, you need to have size, athleticism, and understanding of the game and decision making really fast. So the player that we picked, they have this characteristic, and we are happy to have them. Of course, the size is going to help in the League of Ireland, right? If you think about the set pieces, the players, the teams here, they shoot the ball in your box from any distance, from everywhere. So have size help.
Yeah, but by and large, the league it's quite small. A lot of the teams, like there wouldn't be too many over 6 foot. So you probably will have the tallest team in the league next season.
Yeah, but still we were suffering in the set pieces. So maybe we were, we need this kind of situation.
All right. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Thanks very much, Owen. James Rogers, please.
Hi, Filippo. I'm just wondering, you're obviously back to training this week. I know you've obviously done your homework on players, but until you maybe see them on the pitch, you don't get a full appreciation for them. How have the new guys done in particular? I know you mentioned some academy players, but the 5 new signings, what's been the initial thoughts on them?
Really good. They really good, even in the locker room. Good people. They love the players that they found here. All the Irish players that they were here in the squad, the core of the team, and they are doing really well even in practice. But I have no doubt on that. Of course, now we start to do some tactical work, and we start to give them some detail in the way that we want to play. But we have time. We're gonna have 6-7 weeks to prepare. So I think we will be able to explain them the way that we want to play, and it's going to be fine.
I suppose it's unclear at this point when you can play a friendly. Given, I suppose, the turnover that you've had, is that a concern? Because I'm sure with new players coming, you want to get them embedded in with the existing players. Is that worrying at this moment?
Well, listen, I think this is the new world, and we have to accept everything. It's not going to be only for us. So if we need to spend time in the pitch to work, training is going to be fine too. As soon we can organize friendly, we're going to do it. But I'm not worried about that, to be honest, because I love to train too. So I think that the work that you do in the pitch, preparing tactically and with the repetition and stuff, is going to help too.
Brilliant. Just finally from me, Stephen Bradley was on earlier, the Shamrock Rovers manager, and he was asked about Richie Towell, and he was saying if he became available, he'd be very interested in him. Dundalk have obviously been linked because he played with the club in the past. I know it was before your time, but he scored 54 goals in 126 games from midfield for Dundalk. So obviously fans would be very keen to see him back in a Dundalk jersey, I'm sure. Have you looked into it at all, or is he someone you'd be interested in, or have you had a chance to see him?
Richie is absolutely one of our target. Is absolutely one of our target.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks very much, James. Now to Aidan Fitzmaurice and then Paul Lennon, please.
Hi, Filippo. You said earlier that I think you mentioned patience, that the club are going to be patient with you. As a coach, how important is that? If you look at England 2 months ago, Solskjaer was under huge pressure at Man U. Now he's near the top of the table. So how important is that? But also, do you have a target? Have the club told you what their minimum demands are you from this season?
No, I mean, there is not minimum or maximum. We have to do well. The club told me to do all package, to win and to develop players. And this is my objective, and I have to do that. So about patience, I don't know what patience means. It's about have a vision, is about reach objective, is about have a project. If I am part of the project, good. I'm gonna work hard to do it, and then. But our job, the job of the coaches is a little bit, sometimes is related to result. But the club that they trust in their coaches and they give them time, sometimes they are more successful in the long term, because you have time to consolidate the style, to consolidate the everything you do. If you all the time you change, it's going to be always a restart, and that means that there is not really a good vision. But it's not the case of Dundalk in this moment.
Okay. And the other question, the league in Ireland has traditionally been very a lot of Irish coaches, Irish players, not so many foreign players. You're the first continental coach to work in our league on a permanent basis. You've signed a lot of players from outside the league. Does that add pressure, and do you feel that there's more pressure maybe from within because you've come from abroad, that your players have to do that bit more? Do you sense that there's more pressure?
For sure. It's like that. It's clear that is this. We're gonna be under the big guy, of everyone, of the media, of course. I think part of the people, they want to see our fail, right? Because they say no, if you are not Irish, you cannot play here. If you are not Irish, you cannot coach here. That's not true. Football is the same all over the world. I think the League of Ireland has to open, and if you open, it's gonna become stronger, and they're gonna see the League of Ireland all over the world, and they're gonna produce more players. They're gonna be more interest around the league, maybe more sponsor, more money, more business, better opportunities. This is how I see. But this is the vision of the club. Is my vision. I just hope that it's going to be like that. Let's say I hope that it's going to be a fair judgment, right? But that's fine. Whatever it's going to be, it's not a problem. We're going to keep on going to work.
Okay. Thanks, Filippo.
No problem.
Thanks, Aidan. Paul Lennon, then James Clancy, and then Emmett Malone, and then we'll wrap things up. So Paul Lennon, please.
Filippo, good afternoon. How are you? Filippo, Dundalk's consistency in so many years, most of the last decade, was the basis for them winning the league. Last year, Shamrock Rovers had consistency. What makes you think that you can get Dundalk to be playing with that consistency to win the league?
Well, I didn't really understand what means with consistency, because
the consistency of winning games, picking up points, as Rovers did last year and Dundalk did in previous years. Dundalk last season didn't have that consistency in the league now.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Last season, but I'm thinking like that, and I am really honest. When I was coming, they were asking us to be focused on the league, and this is not to be arrogant. I think we were winning the majority of the game if we were preparing for the league. I have no doubt on that, because I saw the team, how they were working, what they were doing. It for us was just a matter of focus in a different objective. Okay, so if I can judge the team right now, our team, and I can see us be competitive. I can see us be competitive in every game and be able to win games. I don't see why not. And I think we can challenge the best team in the league without problem. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but we're going to do it for sure, and we're not going to hide. We want to play to win.
Okay, then just one other one, Filippo. You explained earlier that you would look at players, recommend them to Jim, who in turn recommend them to the board. Is that a very cumbersome way, a very complicated way to sign players? It seems to be a lot of layers to go through.
Not really. No. This is what is the normality in the majority of the club in the world. There is a scouting. There is a scouting office that are looking for players, and then there are coaches that analyze with the scouting, and then you can show the players to the sporting director, to the who can make the decision about contract and stuff, and then they have to be approved. I think is a normal way to do it. We don't see any. We are pretty fluid on do that, and of course sometimes it's the director that has the players to say, "Hey guys, can you check this?" And then we start to study the player, and then we go back with our report. And but is a group work, and I think with Jim Mcgilton experience, this is becoming a really strong group of work with his experience in this league, with the knowledge that he has. For us, it's a big thing. I'm learning a lot, and I'm lucky to have a director with such an experience. So everything is positive.
That's great. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Paul. Emmett Malone, and then Dave Donnelly will have the last question. So Emmett Malone, please.
Hey, Filippo. Hope you're well. Listen, just wanted to follow up on the Richie Towell question that James asked earlier on. I'm just wondering, you say he's a target, very much a target for the club. Is he a target in time for the start of this season, or in the summer when his contract runs out at Salford?
I think that is going to be more a target when his contract ends.
Okay.
Because I think he wants to finish there. His contract is going to end in May.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. That's great. Thank you very much. I just wanted to clarify that. Thanks.
Thanks, Emmett. And then so the last question is going to Dave Donnelly, please. Dave.
Yeah, just one very quick one from me. You mentioned that you want the League of Ireland and Dundalk to become more known overseas and more successful and stuff like that. Has there been much interest in Italy, in the media, in the work that you and Giuseppe are doing here?
Yes, a lot of interest in the media, in the television, everywhere. That's what I mean. Before Dundalk, nobody knows Dundalk in Italy. Now, I can tell you, it's very known, and this is going to happen in Norway. It's going to happen in Faroe Island. It's going to happen in Latvia. I hope it's going to happen in Korea. It's going to happen in Albania. It's going to happen in United States. This is going to happen for sure. This is really, really important. This is the vision of the club.
Great, thanks.